there was a little girl. She must have been this tall. And she said, I miss my mother. She looks into the camera and she says, I miss my mother. And she said it in her own language, in her own dialect. And Samar showed this movie in a room full of hard-boiled lobbyists with parliament and the judiciary and superior judiciary, and there was not an eye in that entire room that was not wet at the end of this documentary. There were grown men who were crying.
Samar was one of the first few people to use film and media and documentaries as a form of advocacy.
The belief that extant cultural practices can't be changed is inherently flawed.
One of Samar's work is a swara, which is where women are used as compromise. If there's a rivalry or a dispute between two families, and if the tribal elders decide that one family is right, they will actually take women from the other family and hand them over to them. And those cases have been girls as young as 3 months old.
They call it peacemaking, and they call it compensation for either murder or property disputes or disputes of so-called honor.
Now, technically, they are supposedly given as wives, but the reality is that the other family will treat these women very badly to show their opponents that we have your women, we're going to treat them like this for everyone to see, and basically the other party's honor is hurt in that respect.
Just last week, we took a girl called Tahira to the Supreme Court of Pakistan. She's been forcibly abducted, married off against her will, used as a sex slave.
जब उन लोगों को पता चला कि भाई हमारी बच्ची जो है इसके बच्चे के साथ गई है, उसने हमारी इज्जत खराब की है, उसने हमारी इज्जत लूटी है, तो हम इसका बदला लेंगे। हमारा कोई इरादा नहीं था देने का। अकेला आदमी था, मेरा कोई दोस्त नहीं था और कोई मेरा करीबी रिश्तेदार कोई नहीं था। तो इस वजह से मेरे ऊपर जुल्म सितम करके बच्चे ज़बरदस्ती ले गए।
These issues are affecting hundreds and hundreds and thousands of lives, and they have been for years.
What stands out for me regarding Samar Minallah is her refusal to be daunted or intimidated.
She doesn't do it for glory. I mean, her documentaries are rarely ever screened internationally. She does it to reach the people where the issues are happening.
Speaking to like-minded people will get you nowhere. We need to reach to people who've never thought about this as a problem, for people who've assumed this as part of their cultural tradition, who don't understand its devastating effect.
And I think for people like Samar, to stay silent is worse than to risk death. Because if they stay quiet like everyone else has, thousands will continue to suffer. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Before a law passes, but even more importantly, before a law can be enforced, the cultural norm needs to change.
From a legal perspective, they need to know that you have a right in order to apply or file a case if your right is violated. And the thing that Samar has shown these people is that you have a right, you have a voice. And when they realize their rights are being violated, then they will approach the police or the courts for justice.
When we see her courage and her refusal to be intimidated, then the rest of us feel, well, we must carry on too.